Welcome to Switch It Up. Today, really switching up on you. Sheila and I, we travel all kinds of places. And we're making our way back to home base. And we are in Utah. And we found out that there's this little side business that's over here that we've been noticing in a couple different places where they have some specific solar setups that you can tilt and do all this thing. Well, we found them here. So today's little video is going to be a little different. I left her at the RV because we just got set up, and I wanted to run over and try to shoot some things for you to see a different type of solar setup that I think may help one of you. You just never know. So we're going to roll the intro and see what surprises await. I actually have no idea. His business is right on the other side of the Bronco, and I just like to shoot and wing it. So congrats, we're going to wing it together. Roll the intro.
A man and a woman left their home to switch things up and go on the road. They didn't know where they would go, but it's gotta be better than staying home. They switched it up. They switched it up.
Sheila did call and say that I was coming. So I don't know exactly where to go in. This little nondescript behind this door is where all the magic happens. Let's see if I can find my way in. I think that's the secret knock. All right, I made it in. This is Kenson. Kenson, this is Monument Solar. Go further for longer with ample power. Monumentsolar.com. There's the plug, right? I was knocking on the door earlier before you showed up, and I was like, okay, no sign, no, it's indescript. It's a brand new building.
Yeah, so
right?
We're still moving in.
Still moving in. Less than 2 months?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. They got in here, and you're getting ready to see something very unique in the solar industry. So that's why I wanted to make sure I stopped by. And obviously you can see he's got an RV in here right now, and we're going to go on top. But before we do that, I kind of want to give a little bit of a backstory of how you got to here, because you were RVing for a while, right? Okay. Yep. Why don't you share?
So I was actually a banker.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, whether that's through my credit or not.
Yeah.
I was when COVID kind of happened. We all went remote, and we just sold our house, and we had this idea to go on this RV adventure with our kids.
Of course,
we had 4 at the time. 7 and under kind of thing. We were like, why not? Let's just give it a shot.
Sell it all and go.
We started looking around, and my wife turned to me. She's like, I'm willing to do this, but I kind of want to use the amenities of the rig wherever we go. So like the ACs, we were very naive. We didn't know much about the RV industry, but we saw these beautiful rigs, and they're like, oh yeah, you have to be plugged in at a park to use any of this stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be at the park.
Yeah, you want to go out.
Yeah, I want to be on the lake. I want to do this and that, and so I started looking into it and crunching the numbers, and it started making more and more sense to do solar. Right. But we had to put a lot of solar up there to really
offset.
Yeah, offset, because we had just standard air conditioners and things like that. And so I came up with this racking system, and I
can't wait to show you guys. It'll be very unique. Yes.
But it really afforded us the ability to maximize the power available to us. And we were able to run both of our air conditioners. We have a 13.5 and a 15,000 BTU, and still charge the batteries at the same time. And so it's like, it was.
But the caveat to here, because we see a lot of solar stuff, you designed your own system that mounts your solar panels to have peak efficiency. Yeah. Okay. And it's patent pending currently. Yeah. So like I said, this is going to be very unique, and somebody's going to be watching this going, So I'll get you all of his contact information at the end, because there's going to be a lot to digest.
Yeah,
So let's talk, let's show them kind of like some of the components before we get on the roof and go through your whole system, so that they can wrap their head around. We're talking, in essence, he's using Victron components as far as all of your normal different multi-pluses and all that stuff. That stuff's normal into the system. But how they're using the solar panels is mind-numbing. So let's look at the stuff that you have.
All right, let's do it.
Let's just jump into the panels.
Okay.
So what kind of panels are you using?
Because we suspend our panels above the roof, we actually can take advantage of the bifacial panels.
Okay.
Right. So if you're just bolting them straight to your roof, a bifacial gain is there's nothing there.
Right.
So, but we're suspending about anywhere 10 to.
What he means by that, if you look up there, when we get up on the roof, you'll understand. But this is not a normal system where everything is actually, how far off the roof is it?
Roughly 10 inches.
Yeah. So it's basically just at the height of your AC units, which allows for a reflection process from the roof itself back to the panel. Hence the word bifacial, meaning that you're getting light from the top like a normal, and then you're getting the refractivity of the light coming up. Yep. Am I right?
You're right.
I was a science major. I bet you didn't know that. Big words like refractivity.
Well, there's another one that people don't recognize when they see that. When you lift it up like that as well, you reduce the heat that's produced on those panels. And if you're familiar with the solar stuff, you know, you end up having less efficiency when it's hotter. So.
Yeah. And side note, I don't know this because we didn't talk about it. There has to be a component, the way this is set up, that when all the panels are down, if you're in a pretty hot environment, it's got to be providing shade to the RV underneath, which actually would probably have an R factor of some sort because you have air flowing through and you have the shade from the panel itself.
Yeah, the coolest part of the day is midday for us. So
nice. Okay. Now let's talk about the panels.
We really have to fit with our system. There's two different sizes of panel we end up working with. So we have a 68-inch panel, and these are typically like 415 watt panels.
Okay.
And that's just the front side rating. So there's also the bifacial gain on top of that. But so 415 on that guy, 15, sorry. And then there's 75-inch panels, which is anywhere from like 440, 450. There are some other panels coming out that are a little bit more powerful than that, but we haven't gone through the testing on those ones. In essence, it's the dimensions of panels that we have to, you know, fit our system around with. But yeah, they're the monocrystalline, split cell.
I think the cool part is like you do have to have differences because of the size of the RVs.
Yep.
So depending on what you're bringing in, he has to be able to retrofit or do whatever to make the size requirements on top. And what you're going to see up there on top of this one is they've utilized a ton of space, which is great. Now, the patent part.
Yeah.
And this is how they're mounted. And I want to show you these components down here because you're going to do, there's two different things going on here. Number one, you can bring RV to you here in, are we in Hurricane?
We're in Hurricane, Utah.
Hurricane.
Not Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Hurricane. Got to have that.
There's always that. Yeah. We're in Hurricane, Utah. And you can come right here to the shop. He'd be happy to help you with the system, design it.
Yep.
And there's different packages. Or he really wants to, in 2025, be able to have you as a do-it-yourselfer either do a startup kit or something, or the whole full thing if they wanted to. That's what you're seeing, these components and how it's all broke down before we get on the roof, so you can see kind of how they are. Do you want to go over those real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This one, we already mounted this to the actual panel. This is the only, well, all of our fasteners and things like that are all stainless steel. Most of the bracketry is all aluminum. This is one of the only stainless steel components we got.
Okay.
But this is actually more of a bracket, which will clip into the original frame of the solar panel.
It's got like a groove.
Yep, a little lip that's been folded over.
Okay.
Worked with a number of fabricators to find one that actually can make this happen. But the way this works is, well, the reason we put this component on there is if you try to suspend these solar panels just using their original frame, and you suspend it on the short side like we do, it's not designed to withstand those loads and that fatigue over time.
Okay.
And so this comes in and allows us to fully support the solar panel using our bracketry. This goes in there.
Oh, it slips right in.
Yep. So
okay.
There's a front and the back, and we have some bolts that come in here and clip in there really well. It acts more like a leaf spring.
Okay.
And so it provides both upward support. So if the wind blows hard up for whatever reason, or if there's, the weight of the panel is balancing on the road,
right?
It really gives it that extra strength.
Okay.
And so you also notice there's a slight little tab on the very ends of it.
Oh yeah, so that just fits into the corners.
Corners on it.
So it's like an erector set in a way.
Yep. And now what happens there is now our other components sit along right here, so all the weight is taken off that panel completely.
Okay,
all
that
the
makes
way around
sense.
the panel.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have that and you try to copy the system, it will last maybe 10,000 miles before the panels start bowing.
Tell them why. You had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah. So I MacGyvered this originally, off Amazon kind of thing, everything I could, the Z brackets and whatever. And we learned a lot from that mistake. But our system literally lasted about 8,000 miles before we recognized that we needed to add some more robust features. And so.
This was the normal bracket that you normally get, right?
This little guy here.
Yeah, this is pretty much what most of us all have on top. When you're installing, they usually come with your solar panels. Now, from this, he's got that. Now you have the actual installation components that we're going to go in depth on top, but he's going to just show you some of these that he uses for the kit to send to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little tactile experience here.
Well, I mean, you could see it. You could see the thickness between the two. And then, like you said, there's rolled edges and stuff for structural support. So it's a huge difference.
And we won't go terribly deep into all the engineering
marvels,
design, things that we went into this. But in essence, we wanted to double this strength and surface area that, we wanted the more redundancy. I mean,
right.
This is going to have 4 bolts right with this bracket. This has just that little one.
Yeah.
The reason we had these tear out on us. We lost the panel on the freeway using these guys. And so, but yeah, this is in essence the saddle bracket. This actually sits on top of the racking components that we'll show you here in a little bit.
Okay.
And then to this, we have a lower swing arm. That brackets into there, like so.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
See that? And then this is the bracket which is fastened to the actual solar panel.
Okay.
And you'll see it's definitely longer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now, one of the things we wanted to be able to do is mitigate the shading. If you ever decide to optimize for solar production and tilt the panels, right? You're tilting the panels in the same direction. But usually when you do that and they're that close together, you're going to shade the back panels and it defeats the whole purpose.
Okay.
Right? Well, with ours, when you tilt these panels this way,
right,
it's actually lifting the panels higher up.
Okay. So less shade. It's kind of like a sundial scenario where...
So that's the back panels go like this.
Right.
The ones that are in front, closer to the sun, pivot at that lower point.
Oh.
And so you actually end up having the front panels dip lower.
Okay.
The back panels lift up. And then we also have a slight gap between them. We call them the catwalk.
Okay.
You can walk up and down the RV when the panels are flat and check things and whatever. But it also provides that space to help mitigate the shading.
Huh.
So
these right here are the components that, depending on when you talk to him and you're talking about your system and all that, you have an idea of what they're going to be using or what he's going to ship to you. Now they're right now working on a bunch of videos and stuff for the do-it-yourselfer. But again, how far booked out are you right now? I didn't even ask.
We're booked out through pretty much the end of the year.
So you might want to call if you're going to come to them.
And here's the hard part: like we haven't done any advertising.
Well, why would you? Because you're so this is such a unique thing.
So we're going to start ramping it up. Our capacity this next year, we're shooting for probably 36 systems or something like that, just from this facility, and then we're going to be opening up partner facilities and training out other installers to do.
Oh, that's cool. So then they could actually get the kit, design it, and then they can install.
And then also do it themselves if they want to just do it yourself. I mean, it saves you a good amount for the installations and whatever.
Yeah, and we'll kind of show you the components as they go together. These are the brackets that are used on the roof.
Yeah, I'll show you. Okay. This is kind of a unique thing. This is the last thing I'll show you before we jump up there. But another one of the things that we saw a lot of people out on the road that had MacGyvered their own systems, and it was kind of fun to see each other like, oh, let's check out each other's systems. And I hate to say it, but a lot of them, it felt like they'd gone to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Metal Mart or whatever. And
they bent it. Right? Yeah, they bent it themselves trying to figure out how to work or whatever.
Well, you try to put a 90-degree angle bracket on a rolled roof and then torque it over, you're going to do damage to the roof. You're going to fatigue the bracket. I mean, so we came up with these brackets. We actually have them
angled already.
Angled at different, there's a 90 degree, an 85 degree, 80 and 75.
Okay. And depending also on the type of rig you have, because some of them have more barreled roofs than others, right? Yeah. Okay.
And so when you go up there, you'll notice that the feet are very much beautifully married to the roof, and that post on the side is perfectly vertical.
Okay.
And so what we did that because we wanted to make sure that the weight of the system is distributed evenly across that foot. Okay. We have a 20-foot or 20-inch by 4-inch bracket that's distributing that weight across that, really thin wood roof.
Right.
We both need to be able to distribute the weight and also grab the roof really strongly so that it doesn't, pull off.
Another fun thing that we were discussing off camera earlier that I never thought of and nobody has ever talked about. He said that some manufacturers do have a weight capacity to put on a roof. Yeah. And that goes to saying, like, you see some of these wonderful RVs that have these slide out mechanisms and doing all this stuff. If your RV cannot handle that, then that is not really going to give you a lot, because now what will happen is you're top heavy, so you have a lot of roll. There's some components there you really have to look out for, right?
Oh, and people don't realize this, but like these panels, they're 45, 50, 60 pounds a piece.
Right.
And so when you have 12 of them, I mean, you're 700 pounds. Mm-hmm. Our racking components in their entirety, it's like 200 pounds maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Because you're aluminum and some stainless steel. Yeah. So, yeah.
And so it's kind of a hard, like a lot of thought and engineering, trying problem solving.
Right.
Went into like figuring out how to keep it light and strong and versatile. So
nice. Hence the patent.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump on the roof. Yeah.
Bolts working real nicely.
Just so you know, he does take this little. He's got extra shoes down here, so he puts on his shoes that have never been worn outside to walk on the RV. Because I guess he cares about the customer. I'll just have to take my shoes off because I'm not walking on this ladder with no shoes. This thing's got like sharp edges.
I did that once and I won't do it again.
Yeah, I can see that.
So now you can kind of see it all come together here. This is a slight customization that the client wanted.
Right.
They wanted to fully maximize the roof space the best they could. They wanted to get as much solar capacity. And as you notice, this would have been the last bracket right here.
Right.
So it's still a 10 panel system this direction using 450, so 450 watts roughly. But we had this extra space back here, and he's like, "Can you just get anything more to it, like on there?" And we came up with this design here, where we added one more bracket and just put one panel and had it kind of pivot the other direction.
Okay.
So it's likely not going to need the support block or anything. This is more roughly like a traditional, RV installation with all racking. There's not the extra support and things. But if you notice, like we still have full roof access here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if I want to get access back here, I can. There's still plenty of ease to get the waterproofing there. But right now, this is kind of unique. This is not. You don't see this typically on our website and things, but it is something we can do for you. So
nice.
But you now can kind of see this is here forward is more kind of the traditional look to it.
Talk about what this, like you have different types of systems on your website.
Yeah.
So kind of give them an idea on what this system is called, like on your website, what it would be. And then since we're going to be able to see how it all lines out, what could they expect if they wanted a smaller system or if they wanted a tailor system? Yeah, that would be good.
So there's, this would be a 𝐁𝐞𝐥𝐸 75.
Okay.
𝐁𝐶𝐞𝐥𝐸 is just a branding, makes it sound pretty. It's in essence
I get it.
Panel system kind of thing. But we have a Sedona, an Acadia, Key West, Tahoe, this one's 𝐁𝐶𝐞𝐥𝐸, the Denali, but in essence a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, or 14 panel system.
Oh wow. Okay.
So for like your rig,
Yeah.
If we didn't have that helipad on top.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We could do the 14 panels.
Yeah, yeah. You could definitely 54 feet long. You could put some.
You'd be able to, power 5 rigs next to you. But one of the biggest complaints that we had, not we had per se, but when we were looking into the solar panel industry was people didn't like having holes all over their roof. They didn't like having the weight in the center where
right down here bow, where it was all this, right?
They didn't like having this racking system and then not having access to check anything. They also wanted to be able to tilt the panels, right? And they wanted it to be very strong and secure.
You make it sound like us RVers are like we have all these criteria, like we're very picky. I mean, it does seem like we want a lot from our solar system. Right. And I guarantee you're watching this video right now going, how in the world? Look at all these panels are up. So you have access to your whole stinking roof.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Show them kind of how those components down on the ground integrate in up here.
You want to just take this panel and lay it flat for you and let you guys see that?
Yeah, let's do that.
So,
because I think we're all asking that question, like while we're out doing whatever, how would we function it?
Now, this is also best done if you have like 2 people. Like we don't ever recommend you like moving the panels by yourself. They are heavy. There's wind, things like you want to be able to keep it secure. But I'll do this here, showing it. This is the way it's set up right now. This is for you're doing maintenance.
Yep.
You want full access to re-waterproof things, make sure things are in good shape. This is how you set it up, right?
Okay.
So we actually have 2 panels here, kind of butted up like that.
Okay.
If that makes sense. This is our support bracket, which kind of just holds it at whatever angle you want it to sit at.
Okay.
Then we have these little thumb bolts.
Oh, so super easy.
Take a look at those if you like.
They're super easy to use.
No, and it's
just don't lose them. Do you give extra of these?
Yeah, we do.
You better put these extra in your kit, because I just know right now somebody's going, I'll lose those. Oh, nice.
That's where it's going to bracket back in.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you bracket it back in right where you choose one of those holes.
Yep. So, for example, if you were tilting these, and the sun's over here, you could have the back piece up to wherever you want it, get it secured. And we actually, we hadn't really tested how well this did with them tilted and wind.
Okay.
Right? We are in Hurricane, Utah.
Yeah.
Spelled the same as
hurricane.
Right?
Correct.
And so it's known for high wind, like 50, 60 mile an hour wind storms, stuff like that. We parked this for 3 months, tilted the panels, and just said, all right, let's
see what happens. Right.
And it would pull the rig. Like it would. Some nights I was just like, this is
not gonna be good.
It might be an insurance claim.
But you got to know.
Well, and every night, every morning I get up there and it was just sitting there happy as it was before. And so you'll feel it. The wind. I mean, I can't get rid of the fact that it becomes a sail. Right?
That's true.
But at the same time, it definitely it withstood those winds really well.
So while you put that back on there, this is, if your mind is spinning like mine is, because we're talking wind, once these are set, this is not something like if gusts of winds are coming up, you can't just go running up here and start readjusting. So you do need to have them so that they would be good in a wind environment. And that's good to know, because most of us have gotten caught with our awnings out. I've seen a lot of people lose an awning on a gusty wind, come out of nowhere. If these are even, most of them, you're not going to tilt more than 15, 20 degrees a lot of times with the sun. So you're not tilting, they're not going to be like in this setup. It's going to be like just to follow enough of the sun as it comes around. So we're not talking like a straight up and down scenario.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind is the reason you tilt your panels is because you don't have enough panels.
Oh.
Right. So like for me,
let's talk efficiency. Okay, let's talk some efficiency. That'd be good.
Like when I'm on the road, we went 30,000 miles in a year, just like cruising around. We wore out our front jacks. I mean, every day we're moving, and just had a ball. Right. It was an amazing fun time. We never tilted the panels.
Okay.
Like we kept them flat. I check them every time I travel. I got up there and made sure they're tight and things. They never really loosened up. The funny thing is it's like when you have 5,000 watts, and it's the middle of winter, sun's at a 45-degree angle, you're going to get 50% of your capacity.
Okay.
So I get 2,500 watts.
Right.
That's more than most people have on the roof in the first place.
That's true. Yep.
On a cloudy day, you'll get 15 to maybe 20%.
Right.
Right. Thick clouds, 10% maybe.
Okay.
Right? So I'm still getting 5,000 or 500 watts on a really thick cloudy day. That'll run my fridge.
Yeah.
Right. That's not a problem.
Well, how much is we talked about bifacial because you're getting the refraction of the sun coming up and hitting this too, even if they are tilted or not tilted, there's some of that going on.
Yeah.
So that actually increases what you're capturing too.
Sure. Well, and those the spec sheets, they rate them out at like 15, 20, and 25%.
Right.
I can't guarantee it anything that you're going to get, but give those metrics. If you're in a really thick cloudy day and you're getting 25%, you're
That's
probably
a pretty
getting
good day.
You're probably getting more like 10% for your bifacial.
Yeah, and as of now, you don't see systems like this, so you don't ever have the benefit of a bifacial scenario.
It's a new option for people.
It's crazy.
But yeah, if you want to hop up, we can take a closer look at it.
This is pretty cool because you do, like he said, this is like maintenance mode, and he's doing the installation, right? Time frames. How long is your install typically? Granted, we are just talking about this up here. What else are you putting in here for Victron? He's not doing batteries with this system. The customer can choose their own batteries, or he could help you get batteries as well. So you kind of do a little bit of everything. So share that side.
We recognize very quickly that no one's going to buy our product without buying solar panels, without buying the back-end electronics, without buying the batteries, right?
Right.
People are going to do that. And so we wanted to make it a one-stop shop. We do the Victron installations.
Yep.
We can do the battery installations. This rig here, all he wanted to have happen was just the racking and solar, and put the cable.
All the connections. Yeah.
In essence, just down to where the battery and electronics is going to be. So that was, and I pitched him a good offer to do the other stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." There's some sales coming up, and I'm like, all right.
He gets it.
So.
I mean, everyone has a different capacity too in knowledge. I hate electricity. Like fearful problems with power.
Yeah.
Okay. So installing the system and putting these up here and doing all that, that's great. But when it starts to have to be wired to all the batteries and all the Victron components and stuff and shunts, and that is like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to pay to have it done. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that you kind of make it to whatever the capacity of the people that are watching or where their comfort levels are be.
Well, I think it goes into another thought. Like what we try to do with our systems is really create no bottlenecks.
Yeah.
So, for example, this power, when it goes down to the roof, there's a rated wire size that you have to have, and we up it to the next level up.
Okay.
So it's like that decreases resistance there.
Right.
We make sure the charge controllers will never be maxed out.
Okay.
Right. So they stay efficient and cool. The inverters, the batteries, all those things play together, and there's ways that those systems can get choked out.
Right.
That we make sure that they are designed properly.
Interesting.
Now, if anyone does want to do like a do-it-themselves kind of system, one thing that we will do for you is we help you calculate out what the minimum battery capacity will be needed. We're putting tremendous power into these systems.
And you don't want like a 200 amp hour battery.
Yeah, I know. And no. Yeah.
I'm just going to put one battery on. Yeah. I want 10,000 watts of solar and one battery.
The thing is that was me. I was like, look, I want 2 lithium, but nothing more. I just want to.
Yeah.
And the guy looks at me, he's like, you want your rig to light on fire? And I'm like, no. And he's like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. So
there are limits.
Yeah, and so that we want to make sure that when you have one of our systems, you have a good experience on the road. Like everything about a company, we try to like bring it in towards like, hey, they're not buying a system; they're really buying and investing in this adventure they're going to have with it.
Correct. Yeah.
So, for example, a system, if we did install, 5-year warranty on the installation.
Oh,
provided that we can do an inspection every year.
That's fair.
The components, all of our components, 5-year warranty.
Well, I mean, there's not, besides the bolts maybe vibrating loose, you're dealing with stainless steel and aluminum, so you're not going to have any rotting issues or. Yeah. And this stuff that's where you're connecting and stuff down here, that's all a good visual inspection. I mean, we're on our roofs all the time anyway as RVers checking out everything. I think that a lot of times in this wonderful RV space, we as owners don't not take responsibility for the maintenance stuff that we should be doing, and we want to place blame on other things. That's just my little high horse. When I see all the videos of this RV stinks and that RV stinks, some of it comes down to a little responsibility on the owner as well.
Well, there is that. We recognize though that people may only use their RV like once or twice a
Yes,
year.
there's that too, right? I mean, because they take it out and go 3,000-4,000 miles for the year, put it away in storage.
Yeah. Well, we tell them it's like, if you have us do the installation, when you come back to do that and be inspected, we redo the waterproofing.
Oh.
We check all the brackets. We'll swap them out if they need whatever.
Nice. That's a little side benefit.
So we incorporated that into our cost structure, all that stuff, and so it's like we want you to really feel as though when you buy one of these systems and you're out on the road traveling,
right,
you're taken care of. And if you ever sell the rig,
the next person is it transferable 5-year?
Transferable
warranty.
We recognize it's an
investment. That's called resale.
Yes.
Resale value.
We did think of that. So
no, this is awesome. And I would say that looking the way the setup is, I imagine 75% of your clientele are going to leave these flat.
Yeah.
But they have the opportunity, if they're going to be somewhere longer and they're in a desert environment or wherever, they can actually tilt them and then really maximize if they're going to be somewhere a month. But I'm saying a lot of people, I think, will leave them flat.
Well, it's nice to know that you can.
Yeah, but the space between the two makes up the difference.
Now you can't see it too well right now. We've come up together real well.
Right.
But there's about a 10-inch gap between these panels.
Okay.
So the user, when he or she gets up there and inspects things, it's a very easy.
Oh, you can walk
right down the center. Everything's flat.
Okay.
You can check every bolt, all these fasteners and things if you need to.
This is awesome. Now, we were talking earlier down here, this like to keep the height, you are right at the air conditioner height.
Yeah. It's about 1 inch and 3/8.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's the thickness of this panel, in essence, was what.
And it's because the roof, it barrels like this. So a lot of people forget that the highest point is generally your AC unit.
Yeah. And so that's in essence, and this guy could have put a lower profile AC unit down if you wanted. If you notice right now, this one doesn't have that stainless steel support bracket.
Right.
We actually use the AC unit as that support for that panel.
Okay.
But if he wanted to lower that, we can.
Unlike this one. So like the next one over where there's not an AC, there's the support. Okay.
And granted, you're looking at this is mid-install, so none of the cabling's been done.
Nice.
We also have on these guys, there's a truss cables, they call them. And we'll have an eye bolt here. And then we have these cables running to the base feed of each system. And so what that does is this whole rack right here, if this were to fail and come loose, it's tied down by the other two bracket feet. So I mean, there are so many redundancies through the system, and we wanted to create a system that if you ended up heaven forbid running it into a bridge, right, it's going to fight back, right? It's like it's going to have some oomph there. But on that note, so going back to kind of what we talked about in terms of like taking care of the customer, if you run this into a low-hanging bridge or into tree branches, or there's a hailstorm or whatever it might be that damages the roof, the wind picks up, you're worried about it. If you do destroy total the system or whatever, it voids the warranty. Right. I can't guarantee if you're gonna run into a bridge, right? But
what? Come on now.
At the same time, we invest so much into acquiring a customer. We want to make sure they take care of you. And so what we have, and when those situations happen, we will actually replace the system at our cost. So you get insurance payout, whatever it might be, and we'll replace it at our cost. And then in addition to that, at our cost, and then for the installation portion, we split it 50-50.
Oh, okay.
So
that's fair.
We eat some costs there.
So you put an idiot factor in there. Is that what that is? So like I can say that because I just took our RV on the Cape May ferry, and I need you to understand something, everyone. If you're going to have this system on the Cape May ferry and you're at 13.6, if you're at 13.5 3/4, just know at 13.6, you start hitting the insulation, these little bolts and stuff at the top, which then potentially could probably take out your wonderful solar system, because you'd be at like 13.6 1/4. So just know that there are instances like the tunnels that we were on the East Coast, things like that. We as RVers, you can mess up. Yeah, you just don't know what you're getting yourself into. So there is an idiot factor. I mean, I thought for sure we were good, but we still ended up, nothing got broken. Oh, okay. Everything was good. We just ripped the insulation off the top of the 𝐵𝐸. Sorry, 𝐵𝐸, but no, this is awesome. So as I made way up to the front here, I know you're going to have like, I have this question is, the wind is coming off the cab. It generally buffers. I wanted to see how far up he was on the front, on this front part. And he's what are you, about 2 foot from the front cap where you started?
The start of the bracket on the foot is 12.5 inches.
Okay.
And then the center of that is another 10 inches in.
So I'm looking at, almost 2 foot. Yeah. So the reason I'm curious about this is, like, if you're looking at this system and going, well, is it going to catch the wind and have this pressure pulling up? Because that was the first thing I thought of. I wanted to see how you said it, because if you went straight up to the front, you're going to be catching a lot of that wind right off the cap. So you came back off the cap a little bit for some wind, because the wind actually comes up and circulates right up. Yeah.
These brackets here, that helps mitigate.
Yeah,
like you're going to have wind issues
no matter what.
And so we just added a lot of strength to those panels. But if you're planning to go 65 miles an hour into a 15-hour headwind,
you're gonna have issues.
We're gonna say don't do that, because,
But I think one of the things when they're looking at your system, devil's advocate, is they're going, okay, is wind going to be a problem? Are they going to get up underneath it? Is this going to be an issue? Well, that's the reason he designed the system with the extra going around and having all that extra support.
Yeah, it adds a slight amount of weight, but I think it really helps with the strength, and it's just
good stuff.
It's been bulletproof ever since we added that to the systems.
Well, I was looking, Ken, so what about the vents down here? Like, do the vents are they still functional? Yep. Can they still open?
Yeah, so this one right here, this bathroom vent's just like a little hand crank.
Yeah.
And so we were okay with putting this bar in front of it, but it'll still open to allow that,
the airflow
and things. If it's like an automated one, we have to make sure that these are not placed right over the top of them.
Oh, that makes sense. So it has the room to articulate.
But I mean, we have the vent here. We have a dome for the shower.
Oh yeah, you have that.
We have the AC unit, and we have the Air 360 Plus over here. I mean, this spot alone.
This had a lot of areas of.
I mean, fully off limits for a traditional solar installation, but it's not an issue. Like, we were able to
accommodate
something on it. So
nice. All right. I told you that was going to be a lot. It was a lot. But I think this is such a valuable video for so many different people that are looking for just an interesting way to do their solar panels and setup and all that fun stuff. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
I mean, creating something that nobody else has done is a pretty monumental feat.
Well, it's just been kind of cool to see. This came from like an idea few years back, and it's just cool to see it from that conception to we're here doing this now.
Right. And you're not traveling as much because now kids are in a different little season of life with school and all that fun stuff.
We had number 5 come, and it maxed out our trucks.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
A little harder, so.
And along with this comes other ideas. We were just talking as we were coming down the ladder, and he's like, well, you know who this would work great for? And that was, who were you saying?
Oh, the horse trailer industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the horse riders, they got their $150,000 roping horse, and it's like, where's your generator? Right above the horse's head. It's like,
never once thought about how you could use this in the horse. Yeah, it's true. They spend so much time and investment into their animals and going to the shows and being able to be comfortable and doing all that. Nobody talks about really solar packages and stuff for the horse field.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's someone out there with a horse trailer or a skoolie. Right?
Oh, a skoolie. Yeah. This would be perfect for skoolies because you made your brackets that they're at different angles because the skoolie bus is even more of a barrel.
We actually have a side mount bracket.
Oh.
And so it's like going from the side and from the top. it's bolted on there, like, you know. So
Skoolie components.
Yeah, if you have a horse trailer or a Skoolie and you want a system, we got a really good discount for you. And for the marketing pictures.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's a little side note. I don't know when you'll see this video, but
yeah,
we'll just see. I'll put all this information down below. Just, you know, if you call in, just mention Switch It Up or something. You saw a video, so he has a reference in his mind of things that he talked about. Because at some point you're going to get so busy, my friend, that you're going to be discovered, and you're going to have more RV YouTubers here than you can shake a stick at. You guys, I just feel privileged that we found you and was able to share your story as we're traveling. So that's kind of neat.
And we'll make it even better. I mean, if you call in with Switch It Up, we'll throw in a 10% discount on racking. You know, I'll save you some money there. So.
Yeah, there you go. See that? He just did that. You know why? Because he's the owner.
No red tape.
No red tape. Right there. Yeah, right there. Owner approval.
Happen,
so thanks so much for following us, and thank you for taking the time to share.
No problem.
Guys, if you're in here at 𝗏𝗏𝐿𝐴,
it's right by Zion National Park.
Yeah, it's right here. Average installs about a week if you're going to have him do it. Mm-hmm. And remember, he is booked out quite a bit, so you'd have to call and do all that stuff on the front side if you're going to have him do it or order a package.
And we're still nailing a few things out, but we should be at Quartzsite this year.
Oh,
so we were there last year. It was really,
we're going to be at Quartzsite this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now what we need to do is get you in here.
Oh man, brother, our RV wouldn't even fit. It's 54 feet long. It won't fit in your warehouse.
65 feet, man.
Okay,
it'd be tight.
I think it would be fun to do a video in the future and have you come out and look at our system and how it's set up. Because it might make a huge difference on what we have. Yeah. You never know. So like, comment, subscribe, be a doer of all things. Okay. All right, it's time to start putting stuff away to hit the road.
Okay, ready to go?
Oh, yes I am. The question comes into play. Where are we headed?
Well, we're headed to Colorado.
We're headed to Colorado?
Yep. That's where we're going. How was your chat with...
Oh, with Alberto or with Kenson? We've got so many people. I know, we have so many people that stop by. Okay, listen. Kenson.
That's who you went to talk to?
I know, Kenson stopped by too. Kenson's doing all this amazing stuff. And Sheila didn't get to go with me to see it. So hopefully you'll see how his racking system works. Now, he did say that he is going to offer something for Switch Crew.
Fantastic.
So if you're interested in that, I don't know the contact info. I'll put it in the description and stuff. But he's got so many things cooking that it was just fun to see another small business person trying to make an impact in the community, that's what it's all about, finding those little... How's that sun? Is that sun pretty bright?
I love this.
So we're off.
With his rack system, though, like it's just the solar and the rack.
Yeah.
Like you can use any batteries.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
you can still
connect the, with Enduro, with Harrison, or if you want something else. But it's pretty impressive to say the least, because you designed the system the way you want it.
All right. So who's Alberto that you?
Alberto just stopped by.
Yeah.
There's Reed. See, that's Reed. Say hi, Reed. So that's Reed. When we're at an RV park, it's funny how many people you get to know.
We just make new friends.
You make friends.
Yeah.
So when you're at an RV park and you see us,
say hi.
Say hi. We'd love to do that. Okay, we off. We got to hit the road. We got a 5 or 6 hour drive day today.
You still didn't tell me who Alberto is.
Alberto stopped by just to say hi.
Okay.
You might see him at one of the huddles in the future.
Sweet. I love meeting new people.
He's potentially new Switch Crew.
Awesome.
All right, I'm buttoned up and we're ready to go. And with all that being said, Sheila, we are...
Well, there's Reed.
Hey, Reed, what do we say when we're done with the video?
Let's see. Roll it, that's on the front.
Uh-huh. How about we're out?
Wow.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.